Avowed is an upcoming action RPG from Obsidian Entertainment set in the world of Eora, the same universe as Pillars of Eternity. Scheduled for release on February 18th, 2025 for Windows and Xbox Series XS, the game offers both first-person and third-person perspectives. Players can wield magic, melee weapons, and firearms with the ability to create combos like shattering frozen enemies with a sword. The game features skill trees, weapon upgrades, and large open zones to explore. While not fully open world, Avowed emphasizes exploration, party-based gameplay, and dialogue-driven interactions, though it does not include romance options.
You must open yourself to its mysteries. Tend to its purpose, no matter how wild. And become what the Living Lands truly needs. Its protector.
Hogwarts Legacy 2 is rumored to be in development, though not officially confirmed by Warner Bros. Games. Leaks and job listings suggest Avalanche Software is working on it, promising improved gameplay and new areas to explore. For now, fans can continue enjoying the original game. The Witcher 4, a game confirmed by CD Projekt Red but with limited details. It will tell a new Witcher story and will be developed using Unreal Engine 5. It is expected to focus on another character other than Geralt of Rivia. No release date has been announced, but the game world is expected to be much bigger and deeper. Star Wars Eclipse will be a branching, multi-character game set in the era of the High Republic, developed by Quantic Dream and Lucasfilm Games. Players will embark on an adventure with completely original characters and storylines, where their choices will determine the fate of the galaxy. The game will feature classic Star Wars elements such as lightsaber duels, force powers, and space travel in this golden age when the Jedi brought peace to the galaxy. Aside from the teaser trailer, there's not much gameplay information yet. Marvel 1943 Rise of Hydra is a forthcoming action-adventure game crafted by Skydance New Media and published by Plaion. Rooted in the rich lore of Marvel Comics, the game centers on the iconic characters Captain America and Black Panther. yet it spins an entirely new narrative inspired by the comic book series Captain America, Black Panther, Flags of Our Fathers. Set against the grim backdrop of World War II in occupied Paris, the story follows American super soldier Steve Rogers as he forges a fragile alliance with Azuri, the king of Wakanda, who assumes the mantle of Black Panther. Together, they confront the looming threat of Hydra, a sinister organization whose rise could alter the course of history. Announced in October 2021 as Skydance's inaugural project in collaboration with Marvel Games, this title brings together industry veterans Amy Hennig and Julian Beek as producers, with acclaimed television and comics writer Mark Bernardin joining forces with Hennig to pen the script. Marvel 1943 Rise of Hydra is slated for a 2025 release. In terms of gameplay, players will experience a thrilling action-adventure as they command a team of 4 characters. In addition to controlling the central heroes, Steve Rogers as Captain America and Azuri as Black Panther, players will also take charge of Gabriel Jones, a member of the Howling Commandos, and Nanali, the leader of the Wakandan spy network. Each character brings unique abilities and perspectives, contributing to the game's dynamic and engaging experience.
Stay out of my way!
Stand aside!
I do not take orders from anyone!
I don't have time for this.
Neither do I.
Assassin's Creed Hex is an upcoming game in the Assassin's Creed series set to explore witch hunts in 16th or 17th century Central Europe. Players will control Elsa, a female protagonist, and manage a cat character. The game, part of the Assassin's Creed Infinity project, promises a darker tone and supernatural elements. Release details are yet to be announced. Phantom Blade Zero is an upcoming action RPG developed and published by S-Game for Windows and PlayStation 5. Set in a dark, samurai-inspired world, the game features fast-paced third-person combat. As a spiritual successor to Rainblood, Town of Death, players control Soul, an elite assassin for the Order. The game offers a semi-open world with interconnected areas, and its combat system involving a 2-button combo and stamina draining block is reminiscent of Souls-like games.
At the end of the day, you know better than anyone else that no one could escape.
Everyone wears a mask. You too.
This is a real face!
He let you live? What secret did you sell him?
Only a dead person can keep a secret.
Monster Hunter Wilds is an upcoming action RPG from Capcom set for a 2025 release on Windows PC, PS5, and Xbox Series X. Set in the Forbidden Lands, players hunt monsters, craft gear, and explore vast biomes. New features include the Sacred Mount, updated slinger, and dynamic monster behaviors. The game supports solo play with AI companions and 4-player co-op multiplayer.
There's too many of them!
Watch out for that glove! I will draw a tire! Cover me!
You got it. Be careful.
Be ready! If we can make it to the rocks, we may lose them! As I feared, it picked up our scent.
I'll handle it. You find someplace safe.
Thank you.
Hurry, the hunter is here. Just watch. You'll see what hunting is all about.
Ballad of Antara is an upcoming dark fantasy action RPG developed by Tipsworks Studio and published by Infold Games. Set in a desolate ancient world, the game challenges players to seek out divine creatures and restore lost essences to combat the encroaching grey mist. Players will traverse the land of Para, transforming these essences into powerful forces. Scheduled for release in 2025, the game will be available on PlayStation 5 and other platforms.
War. Mortality. These essences shall not fall into your treacherous hands. Wayward emissaries, grant us the forgotten miracles. Rain fire from above. This desolate flame needs a sprinkle of madness.
Remember, no matter what happens, we did not betray this world.
State of Decay 3 is an open-world survival game set in a post-apocalyptic world ravaged by zombies. As you navigate a landscape overrun by an evolving zombie threat, you'll need to establish and protect a community of survivalists. Your decisions shape the game's events and storylines. Losing a community member to zombies means losing their skills permanently. The game features online multiplayer for up to 4 players, allowing friends to build and expand a base together in a shared, persistent world.
But you helped us make something greater than the fear and death that surrounded us. We found hope in each other.
Help! I'm surrounded. They're everywhere. There's way more than I was expecting.
And even if we bought the other survivors just one more day, the sacrifice would be worth it. It would always be worth it. And that helped us find the courage to keep going, to fight on. When we needed it the most. I didn't know you well. But we'll keep your memory alive. Every sacrifice we make matters and will never be forgotten. No one is forgotten. We live on.
Death Stranding 2 On the Beach is an upcoming action game by Kojima Productions, set to release on PlayStation 5 in 2025. The sequel continues the story of Sam Porter Bridges, Fragile, and Higgs, with new characters played by Elle Fanning and Shioli Kutsuna. Hideo Kojima revamped the narrative to reflect post-COVID themes. The game features appearances by George Miller and Fatih Akin, and the latest updates include new gameplay details and ongoing development.
As I told you, Drawbridge is a civilian outfit. But we do have a generous patron with access to plenty of capital and tech.
Sounds like a UCA big shot.
Don't ask me.
Fable is an upcoming action RPG from Playground Games set to release for Windows and Xbox Series XS in 2025. This reboot marks the first new entry since Fable the 3 in 2010. Set in the fictional realm of Albion, the game aims to modernize the series with updated gameplay and visuals. Development resumed after the series hiatus, spurred by the closure of Lionhead Studios and the cancellation of Fable Legends. Announced at the Xbox Games Showcase in 2020, the project boasts lead writer Anna McGill and collaboration with Eidos Montreal, focusing on a rich narrative and gameplay experience.
It's like a fan club, but we hate you.
Your chances and the occasional giant toad, for some reason. But it's more than that. It's about the choices you make.
I'm a hero. I should do what I want.
We thought you could save her.
You know, it's your life and death stuff. That's what defines you, doesn't it? Really, stays with you. I knew this one hero. I took her in when she had nowhere else to go. Welcome to the most exclusive club in all of Albion. Thought I'd get her out there, make the most of her gift. But you know what it's like when you're young and you have a point to prove. I tell you, this kid, she had it all. The skill, the talent, the power. She was something else, all right. She was terrifying. So, yeah, I knew this girl once who made all the wrong choices.
Humphrey. She's back.
Perfect Dark. In the not-so-distant future, Earth faces a cascade of global disasters jeopardizing ecosystems worldwide. Step into the shoes of Joanna Dark, an elite agent for Datadyne, tasked with capturing Daniel Carrington, the most notorious criminal of the age. Unravel the secrets behind revolutionary technologies that pose grave threats to humanity.
I was wrong.
Welcome to Garden City, where it's a pleasant 23 degrees all day, every day.
How far to his last known location?
Local forces are also tracking his whereabouts. You need to find him before they do.
I'll have to improvise.
Generating voice print.
What readings are you getting?
We are getting odd readings from your monitor. Can you confirm?
I'm looking at the screen right now.
Our intel places Carrington on the second floor.
And the life we think we know turns out to be a lie. There's only one way forward. Find the truth.
Scan's clear. I'm going in blind.
Carrington! Damn it!
Analyze. What am I looking at here?
Carrington appears to be targeting a research facility. If he attacks it, the casualties could be astronomical.
Agent Stark, it's a pleasure to meet you. I could use someone with your skills.
to lose everything before I could see. What this world was really hiding.
I hope you're ready, Agent Dark.
Are you all seeing this?
Once you open this door, there's no going back.
Exoborn gear up and dive into Exoborn, a tactical open-world extraction shooter set in a post-apocalyptic US ravaged by extreme natural forces. Explore a dynamic and perilous environment teeming with warring factions and hostile players. In this high-stakes game, you'll scavenge, craft, and fight to survive amidst scarce resources and constant threats. The challenge is clear: risk it all to secure valuable loot and emerge victorious. In a world where survival depends on the spoils of battle, remember, go big or go home.
Extraction inbound.
Good to go?
Easy in, easy out.
That's our ride.
Lightspeed Studios unveils code to Jin Yong with Unreal Engine 5 Singapore, June 28, 2022. Lightspeed Studios has announced code to Jin Yong, an open-world RPG powered by Unreal Engine 5, adapting the beloved wuxia novels by Jin Yong. Scheduled for a global release, the game will immerse players in a detailed martial arts world featuring characters like Yang Guo and Guo Jing. Using UE5's advanced technologies, the game promises photorealistic visuals and lifelike martial arts motion. Code to Jin Yong also highlights Lightspeed's new Lightspeed Universe initiative, aiming to connect players with innovative storytelling and next-gen technology. Grand Theft Auto 6 is an upcoming action-adventure game from Rockstar Games that absolutely deserves this list. As the 8th main entry in the series, it is set to release in late 2025 for PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series XS. The game unfolds in the fictional state of Leonida, inspired by Florida, and features the iconic Vice City. The narrative centers on a criminal duo, Lucia and her male partner, providing a satirical exploration of contemporary American culture and internet phenomena. After a significant leak in September 2022, the game was officially unveiled in December 2023. Astrobot, a PlayStation 5 platformer from Team Asobi, releases on September 6, 2024. As a sequel to Astro's Playroom, this game features 80 levels across 6 galaxies. Players control Astro using the DualSense controller with new abilities, collectibles, and gameplay mechanics. The game includes both main and optional stages and will not have microtransactions. Gears of War. E-Day is an upcoming third-person shooter from the Coalition and Xbox Game Studios. As the 6th main entry, it's set 14 years before the original game and focuses on Marcus Phoenix and Dom Santiago during the Emergence Day. Set in the new city of Kelowna, the game will feature a linear experience and delve into the origins of the Lancer assault rifle. Scheduled for release on Windows and Xbox Series XS, it was officially announced in June 2024. Silent Hill 2 is a forthcoming survival horror remake developed by Bloober Team and published by Konami. Reimagining the 2001 classic, it follows widower James Sunderland, who returns to Silent Hill after receiving a letter from his deceased wife, Mary. Announced in October 2022, this remake aims to revive the series, which has been dormant since Silent Hill Downpour 2012. With development led by Matheus Lenart and production by Motoi Okamoto, the game will also feature contributions from original creators Masahiro Ito and Akira Yamaoka. Scheduled for release on October 8th, 2024 for PlayStation 5 and Windows, the game will offer a modernized camera system, enhanced combat and stealth mechanics.
In our special place.
Just put the gun to their head.
You can't just kill someone because the way they looked at you.
You should see your face, Jane.
Let go!
I'm sorry, Laura, but I can't let you just run around this place. You might get hurt.
Hurt by what?
This place is different from what I remember. I don't think she's here anymore.
This whole town. Might be best if you just get out of here.
Yeah, you're right.
You said you took everything. But you forgot that videotape we made.
How do you know about that? Aren't you Maria?
I'm not your Mary.
So you are Maria.
I am. If you want me to be.
How do you know about Mary?
You see it too? For me, it's always like this.
Doesn't matter who I am. I am here for you, James. See? I'm real.
Marvel's Wolverine is an upcoming game by Insomniac Games for PlayStation 5 set in the Marvel's Spider-Man universe. Announced in September 2021, it features Wolverine in a new standalone story with a mature tone. The game faced a setback in December 2023 due to a ransomware attack that leaked early assets and employee information, but development is ongoing. Doom: The Dark Ages is an upcoming first-person shooter from ID Software set to release in 2025 for PlayStation 5, Windows, and Xbox Series XS. This eighth main entry in the Doom series, a prequel to Doom 2016, explores the rise of the Doomslayer in a dark fantasy setting. The game was officially announced in June 2024 after a September 2023 leak, and it builds on the story teased after Doom Eternal. It will not be an exclusive title, with Microsoft emphasizing the series' history across platforms. Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 is the upcoming successor to the 2020 release, developed by Asobo Studio and published by Xbox Game Studios. Scheduled for November 19th, 2024, it will launch on Windows and Xbox Series XS. This new installment introduces a career mode featuring diverse missions such as aerial firefighting, air rescue, and crop dusting. It will also include new aircraft types like gliders and airships and enhanced environmental elements including snow and tornadoes. The game promises advanced features like a refined physics engine, improved aircraft systems, and multi-threading for optimized performance. While it will support most add-ons from the previous version, compatibility with external third-party add-ons remains uncertain. Dune: Awakening is an open-world survival MMO set on the desert planet Arrakis. Players navigate a world in turmoil without Paul Atreides, engaging in political intrigue and survival. Features include base building, advanced combat, and exploration across dynamic landscapes with giant sandworms, join factions, harvest spice, and influence global politics in this immersive Dune experience. Release date 2025.
You are abandoned and alone. Hunted by sandworms. Scorched by the unforgiving sun. Ravaged by sunstroke. Stick to the shade. Chase the moving shadows. Survive. Welcome to Arrakis, the most dangerous planet in the universe.
The Wolf Among Us 2 is an upcoming episodic graphic adventure game by Telltale Games in collaboration with Ad Hoc Studio. Set 6 months after the original, it continues the story of Bigby Wolf and Snow White. Development faced delays and changes, including a switch to Unreal Engine 5. Initially announced in 2019, it has been delayed to 2024 due to development challenges. The game will feature simultaneous episode development and promises to build on the narrative and cinematic strengths of its predecessor.
You've been hesitant to share with us. I assume it has something to do with confidentiality associated with the job.
Something like that.
Your boss, Miss White, said things didn't go as planned. She mentioned that there was some violence? In the moments when you find yourself losing control. How does the anger manifest itself?
Call of Duty Black Ops 6 is set for release on October 25th, 2024. Co-developed by Treyarch and Raven Software, it continues the story from Black Ops Cold War 2020. The game will feature a spy thriller single-player campaign, 16 new multiplayer maps, and a refreshed zombies mode with 2 new maps. Notable additions include omnidirectional movement, the Prestige leveling system, and new gameplay mechanics. It will be available on PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Windows, Xbox One, and Xbox Series XS, and will launch on Xbox Game Pass.
We're dying to welcome you.
Stalker 2, Heart of Chernobyl is an upcoming first-person shooter survival horror game developed and published by GSC Game World. As the fourth entry in the Stalker series, it continues the story from Call of Pripyat 2009. The game was initially announced in 2010 but faced multiple delays, including a halt due to the Russian invasion of Ukraine. It is now set to release on November 20th, 2024 for Windows and Xbox Series XS. Developed using Unreal Engine 5, it will be available on Xbox Game Pass at launch and will be exclusive to Microsoft platforms for 3 months. Crimson Desert is an upcoming open-world action-adventure game developed and published by Pearl Abyss. Set in the medieval fantasy world of Pywell, players follow Cliff, a mercenary grappling with leadership challenges and past traumas. Initially planned as a prequel to Black Desert Online, it has evolved into a standalone single-player experience. the game will launch simultaneously on Windows, PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series XS with no specific release date yet. It utilizes an upgraded version of the Black Desert Online's Black Space engine. Lightspeed LA unveils debut game. Last Sentinel Lightspeed LA, a new division under Lightspeed Studios, has announced its debut game, Last Sentinel. Set in a futuristic dystopian Tokyo, the game centers on protagonist Hiromi Shoda and promises a unique blend of narrative, environment, and gameplay. Led by industry veteran Steve C. Martin, known for his work on Grand Theft Auto V, Red Dead Redemption, and others, the studio aims to deliver an immersive AA open-world experience. With a focus on creativity and interactive storytelling, Last Sentinel showcases Lightspeed LA's commitment to innovation in gaming. The studio benefits from a global team experienced in top-tier titles like The Last of Us and God of War.
Follow me.
Alcahest is a fantasy adventure set in the troubled kingdom of Cadanor. As the youngest son of a petty lord, you must navigate feudal conflicts and solve goblin raids. Dynamic combat, use the environment and alchemical tools in fast-paced battles. Alchemy, craft potions and effects with unpredictable results. Immersive world, explore interactive locations with meaningful quests. Dragon Age. The Veilguard is the upcoming 4th game in the Dragon Age series, releasing on October 31st, 2024. Set a decade after Inquisition, it features real-time action combat, a customizable world state, and a hub-and-spoke world design. Players can choose from various lineages and classes with a focus on dynamic combat and diverse companions. The game, previously known as Dreadwolf, has undergone significant development changes and delays.
In your work. You're clever, adaptable, and you don't know when to quit.
You want allies to go after the gods? I've got places to look.
Where do we start? I'll be damned. A griffin.
Little Nightmares 3, set for a 2025 release, continues the eerie adventure with new child protagonists, Lo and Alone. Players navigate the nowhere, solving puzzles and evading threats in a 2.5D world. The game introduces solo play with an AI companion or online co-op, featuring unique mechanics for each character. Lo with a bow and arrow, and Alone with a wrench. It will be available on Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 4 and 5, Windows, Android, iOS, Xbox One, and Xbox Series XS. Chrono Odyssey is an upcoming next-generation action MMORPG featuring stunning visuals powered by Unreal Engine 5. The game boasts a massive, seamless open world and extensive customization options. Its dynamic, action-based combat mechanics focus on time management, promising an engaging and immersive experience. Metroid Prime 4 Beyond is an upcoming action-adventure game developed by Retro Studios and published by Nintendo for the Nintendo Switch, set for release in 2025. Announced at E3 2017, the game was initially developed by Bandai Namco Studios before restarting development under Retro Studios in January 2019. Kensuke Tanabe, producer of previous Metroid Prime titles, has returned for this project. The game is expected to feature a focus on the bounty hunter Psylocke introduced in Metroid Prime Hunters. The development shift to Retro Studios aims to meet Nintendo's high standards and possibly incorporate a more cinematic narrative. Releasing on November 15th, 2024, Assassin's Creed Shadows is the 14th installment in the series. Set in 16th century Japan, players control Naoi, a shinobi, and Yasuke, an African samurai. The game features dynamic environments, seasonal changes, and a mix of stealth and combat with new mechanics like shadow manipulation and a grappling hook. Available on PS5, Windows, Xbox Series XS, macOS, and iPadOS.
Momoyama period in feudal Japan was such a nuanced time, so it was really interesting to be able to work with dual protagonists and develop these two characters as individuals, because we really had the opportunity to explore this era by playing off these two different perspectives.
As we worked our way through it and came up with a dual protagonist, it became very clear that Naoi is the stealth character and Yasuke is the fight character. Speed and agility on one side, then brawn and strength on the other. They differ in every possible way we could make them differ.
Our shinobi, Naoi, is the imagined daughter of a legendary Egan shinobi, Fujibayashi Nagato. And up until this point, she's actually been quite protected from a lot of the horrors of war that have been going on in other parts of Japan. So this is going to be her first real taste of what lies beyond, and it has a profound impact on her.
I wanted to have the stealth as a core pillar in Assassin's Creed Shadows. Player will recognize the classic Assassin's Creed experience in Naoi, but we're adding a lot of things that make her super unique, so she's the best assassin ever.
We wanted Naoi to be extremely fast, efficient, acrobatic. We've worked a lot to make sure that she has the coolest, most spectacular parkour we could give her. She can squeeze in tight corners. She can go prone, meaning that the character can go underbelly and just crawl around in the dirt and disappear from view. We really wanted to leverage all the light elements that come with our new tech and use it in a core way for our shinobi fantasy specifically. So what that means, at night, you have to read the environment and hide in the pockets of shadows that are cast naturally in the world. And that affects how NPCs can see you and if they can sense you at all.
What we want the player to experience is the feeling of being the predator. So you feel like a ninja, you can break light, you can vanish in the shadows, and you're flipping on roof with the physics-based grappling hook, so the stealth is more rich than ever, and you really feel that she's like a blade in the shadows.
Yasuke is our first historical protagonist in Assassin's Creed. What we know about Yasuke historically is just a bit, but it was enough to get the team really excited about the opportunity to work with him as a character. He can fight his way out of anything, but he's also super smart and can think his way through things equally as well, and is going to be somebody who always has a commanding presence.
So especially in combat, when we think about Yasuke, it's really about dictating how the fight will go. And to do so, we created a mechanic called the posture attack. So he can chamber an attack, and then he can launch that attack to do massive amount of damage and take out anyone.
Yasuke is very, very strong. He can barge through reinforced doors. He can lift heavy objects that Naoi can't. But that means that he's somewhat slowed down compared to Naoi. That hurts. On the ground, that's where he shines.
We have two characters who have such different gameplay styles. So for every situation, every gameplay moment you're going to encounter, you really need to think through everything from these two perspectives.
Blood must be paid in blood, Yasuke.
We always want to respect player choice, so you can do quests with any character. So if you are Yasuke, you play with his strength, but also with his weakness. Same for Naoi. Each character has their own skill trees, but also they can master the different weapons. So it's not just about stats, it's about the player competency to really understand how the different mechanic works.
They have different speeds, they have different HP, they have different gear sets, so they're very unique and they're a great balance of two player fantasies.
The most exciting part of having our dual protagonists is the distinction and the fact that they don't really overlap. Narratively, they have common goals and they are aligned on what they want to do, but the way they go about it is drastically different. Sometimes playing Naoe, even if you're very good, you'll hit a wall and some enemy is going to kick your ass and you go, you know what, let me switch. And the same is true for Yasuke. Sometimes you'll get a setup, a couple enemies are high on rooftop that you cannot quite reach, and having to go, you know what, let me switch back to Naoe. And having this push-pull that players get to experience of which characters is good in what situation, it gives us lots of levers to play with and try to break the mold, I think is the most fantastic thing we've achieved with our dual protagonist from a gameplay perspective.
Project M is an upcoming action-adventure game developed by NCSoft. Officially unveiled earlier this year, the project is part of NCSoft's broader initiative involving multiple new intellectual properties.
Most ambitious projects to date. What would it mean to you if the world was comprised of informational particles instead of physical particles? Oh, I got a little ahead of myself. I am TJ Kemp from NCSoft. Welcome to Project M. How would the fabric of simulated reality change our perceived world if we could tamper with the arrangement of those particles? This very idea is what sparked Project M. The informational particles that shape Project M's world can transform reality based on your choices. And each choice you make will change your experience. The information that exists in the present reality determines how the world will unfold. Value every encounter and every moment. These will be essential in the world of Project M. This is where our journey ends for now. I look forward to seeing you all again soon.
Lost Soul Aside is an action RPG developed by Altezero Games and published by Sony Interactive Entertainment. Set in a fantastical world, the game features dynamic combat and a compelling narrative centered on a protagonist with mysterious powers. With its impressive graphics and intricate combat systems, it's set to release on PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, and PC, anticipated either late 2024 or early 2025. Mafia: The Old Country is an upcoming action-adventure game developed by Hangar 13 and published by 2K, set for release in 2025 on PlayStation 5, Windows, and Xbox Series XS. As a prequel to the original Mafia game, it marks the fourth entry in the series. Set in the early 1900s in the fictional Sicilian town of San Celeste, the game explores the origins of the Mafia. The game was officially announced with a reveal trailer at Gamescom 2024. Kingdom Come: Deliverance II is an upcoming action role-playing game developed by Warhorse Studios and published by Deep Silver, set to release on February 11, 2025 for PlayStation 5, Windows, and Xbox Series XS. As a sequel to the 2018 game Kingdom Come: Deliverance, it continues the story in 15th century Bohemia. The game introduces crossbows and early firearms, along with a first-person perspective and a richly detailed open world where player choices affect NPC reactions and the game environment. Development began in 2019, with the studio growing significantly to bring a more expansive vision to life using a customized CryEngine and enhanced motion capture technology. Instinction is a narrative-driven action-adventure game set in a hidden prehistoric world. You play as Izzy, an ecologist who discovers her grandmother's heritage in a mysterious valley where dinosaurs coexist with an ancient civilization. Explore the Valley of the Rift, solve puzzles, and survive in this dangerous yet beautiful environment. Uncover secrets, navigate treacherous landscapes, and battle deadly dinosaurs using a blend of stealth, combat, and supernatural abilities. Greedfall 2: The Dying World is a prequel set 3 years before the original game, following a native of Teer Fradee who is forcibly taken to the old continent. As an outsider, you must navigate a decaying land rife with political intrigue, forming alliances, outwitting enemies, and fighting to reclaim your freedom. Explore new regions, uncover ancient secrets, and shape your destiny through choices that affect your companions, who can become friends, rivals, or even lovers. Your decisions will determine the outcome of your journey in this rich, narrative-driven RPG. X-Killer is a first-person action-adventure game set in a dystopian world where Earth has become a scorched desert. You play as Denzel Phoenix, a bounty hunter for the Hellion Corporation, navigating a dangerous, choice-driven story. The game features a semi-open world with retro-futuristic aesthetics, offering freedom in combat, stealth, and dialogue with no traditional leveling. Progression is based on mods and weapon upgrades. Your choices directly influence the narrative and character interactions, making each playthrough unique.
Empty. What the hell is going on here?
Event flag for security. Update error.
Shit, I'm out.
Please stand.
Finally.
course it was.
The Outer Worlds 2 is an upcoming spacefaring RPG from Obsidian set in a new star system with a fresh crew. Announced in 2021, details remain scarce, but it's one of the major projects from Obsidian, alongside Avowed. While the exact release date is unconfirmed, the game entered pre-production in 2019, and with Avowed delayed to 2025, a release in 2025 or 2026 seems likely. More updates are expected next year, when pre-orders might also become available. The Gothic 1 remake is an upcoming reimagining of the classic 2001 RPG developed by Piranha Bytes. The remake, developed by Alchemia Interactive and published by THQ Nordic, aims to faithfully recreate the original experience while updating the graphics, mechanics, and overall gameplay to meet modern standards. Set in the harsh and gritty world of the Kingdom of Myrtana, the game follows an unnamed hero who is thrown into a massive prison colony surrounded by a magical barrier. Inside, various factions vie for control, and the player must navigate this dangerous environment, making alliances, battling creatures, and uncovering the dark secrets of the colony. The Gothic 1 remake promises to retain the immersive atmosphere and choice-driven narrative of the original, while offering a visually and technically enhanced experience for both new and returning players.
I don't see nothing. Come on, let's head back. This is too dangerous.
Go back to that piss hole of a camp. No way, man. Not until we find that stuff.
Corner! Oh, no, no, no! Help!
Black State is a story-driven action-adventure TPS set in a post-cataclysmic world. Players assume the role of a summoned agent tasked with rescuing captives and uncovering a mysterious event. The game features a dynamic narrative, photorealistic graphics, and innovative real-time door mechanics for seamless level transitions. Players use an array of weapons and tactical gadgets in intense combat, facing diverse enemies and challenging boss fights. With a focus on surprise and immersion, Black State offers a rich emotional experience with strategic gameplay and stunning visuals.
Roger that. Proceed with caution. Destination is unknown.
Alright, let's see where this leads. Inside a military base. Activating the map maker. Tell me what you can see.
Seems busy out there. Stealthy approach advised.
Too late.
The First Berserker. Kazan is a hardcore action RPG set in the DNF universe. You play as Kazan, a hero exiled and tortured, seeking to reclaim his honor and exact revenge, navigate harsh environments, confront Imperial forces, and rediscover your battle skills to overcome enemies. The game features intense hack-and-slash combat, deep character customization, and an engaging storyline that delves into Kazan's past and the truth behind his downfall. Warhammer 40,000 Space Marine 2 is a third-person shooter hack-and-slash game set to release on September 9th, 2024 for PlayStation 5, Windows and Xbox Series XS. Developed by Saber Interactive and published by Focus Entertainment, it's a sequel to Space Marine 2011. You play as Titus, a lieutenant of the Ultramarines chapter, battling enemies with a mix of melee and ranged combat. The game features cooperative multiplayer with AI-controlled allies or other players, as well as competitive modes. Health and armor management are crucial, with armor regenerating through execution attacks and health replenished by medkits. Multiplayer options include various modes and character classes with customization options.
Space Marine 2's story begins a century after the events of the first game. Captain Demetrian Titus is a genetically enhanced super soldier and hero of the Ultramarines.
We will eradicate your kind from the galaxy.
Titus is returned to the Ultramarines.
You're a lieutenant now.
Where he is demoted to lieutenant.
Will that be a problem? No, Captain.
And forced to prove his loyalty in the heat of battle. On a distant world, he must face one of humanity's most fearsome adversaries, the Tyranids. As you take control of Titus and his fellow battle brothers, Chiron and Gadriel, you'll be thrown into the thick of a war of galactic proportions. Thanks to our unique swarm technology, allowing us to render hundreds of real enemies on screen at the same time. You'll face seemingly endless waves of crawling, running and swooping enemies as far as the eye can see. You must repel the Tyranid invasion and rid the system of the Xenos threat, battling in the claustrophobic jungles of Kadaku, the majestic planet-spanning metropolis of Avarax, and other epic locations. After each successful mission, you'll return to the Battle Barge, a space fortress serving as the Ultramarines' orbital headquarters. Here you can gather crucial intel by interacting with onboard personnel, review your next targets, and tailor your loadout to your upcoming mission.
For the Emperor! For the Emperor!
Whether you prefer close combat or ranged warfare, the Ultramarines' wide range of equipment offers you an array of devastating weapons and unique special abilities. A balanced approach is certainly wise, since performing a brutal melee finisher replenishes your armor and keeps you in the fight for longer. Shred the enemies of humanity with the iconic chainsword. liquefy them with the Melter Rifle, or crush them with the mighty Thunderhammer. How you vanquish the Tyranid invaders is entirely up to you.
Your duty is not yet done.
Beyond the story campaign, you'll find Operations Mode. Here, the focus is on cooperation and replayability. Play as one of 6 classes with unique skills and abilities.
The Emperor provides.
Then develop and customize them to make them your own. Whether you prefer the Sniper's Stealth Cloak and long-range capabilities, the Vanguard's Grapnel Launcher, or the Bulwark's Chapter Banner and Storm Shield combination, your Space Marine specialty, along with those of your squad mates, will be decisive on the battlefield. The more missions you play, the more you'll unlock cosmetics for your Space Marine. You'll also earn XP and armory data that you can spend in the Battle Barge's armory to unlock new class perks and improve your armament's performance.
Eternal war demands eternal discipline.
If you're into more competitive challenges, well then you're in for a treat. Enter the fray in our Eternal War mode, where you'll be able to pit yourselves against other players. 6 Space Marines clash against 6 of their sworn Chaos adversaries in arenas inspired by the game's rich settings. Choose your preferred rule set, be it the intense Annihilation Deathmatch, strategic Seize Ground, or the exhilarating Capture and Control. Then engage in adrenaline-pumping matches that will test your skills against players from across the world. Each skirmish offers you the chance to earn more XP and add more weapons to your arsenal as you prove your valor on the battlefield. That's all just a taste of what is to come. We can't wait for you to experience the passion and care that our teams have poured into this game. We've got more surprises in store for you, to be revealed very soon.
In his name, I will fight! For the Emperor!
Nero Berlin 2087 is a cyberpunk action-adventure game where you play as Nolan, a detective searching for a kidnapped girl in a dystopian future. Set in a divided Neo Berlin, you'll uncover a dark conspiracy while navigating intense combat, stealth, and RPG elements in both the high-tech city and a dangerous wasteland. Exodus is an action-packed sci-fi RPG where you, a genetically gifted traveler, explore the vast Centauri cluster to save humanity. Face off against hostile alien civilizations, rival dynasties, and advanced celestials while scavenging and wielding powerful tech. journey across uncharted worlds, manage the effects of time dilation, and forge alliances with unique companions. Embrace your destiny, as the universe's secrets and your survival depend on your choices.
I'm all right.
What she found that day was a miracle. It would be our salvation. And she used that ship to explore the far-flung corners of the galaxy. A traveler on the hunt for celestial treasure.
Careful, Max.
The data structure is incredibly dense. This is it.
Tom! Stay down!
She put her life on the line to bring back artifacts to put us on the path to scientific breakthroughs. She risked everything, time and again. But despite her bravery, eventually her luck would run out. Lucky for us, she made it home safely. While she was alive, she was too humble to speak of her adventures. But at least we, her descendants, can honor her memory. Thank you all for visiting the museum today, and safe travels tomorrow. Hey, that's off limits.
She was always charging headfirst into the darkness. I was always one step behind, looking for the light switch. The Celestials hunted us down. I knew they'd keep chasing us until they ripped our ship apart.
Come on!
And I had to save her. So, I led them away from this world. Away from her. We both knew the cost of using the gates. When you travel at light speed, time slows to a crawl. It was only days for me, but an entire lifetime passed for her. And in the chaos of those final moments, we never said goodbye.
No, come with me! Wait! Please! Tom! I love you.
Thank you.
Project LLL is an action game developed and published by NCSoft, scheduled to be released in 2024.
나한테 임무?
루셀 기억하지?
알겠어. 하지.
Squadron 42 is set in the Star Citizen universe and stands out with its own independent story. The game promises players an immersive experience with a variety of missions, character interactions, and galactic battles. While there is no clear information about the release date, the development process continues actively.